You see, messing around with you, and I messed up with the intro already, and still. You know, JC, why does your why do you look so mean on that? Why does your intro look so
I
mean?
don't know, man. I want
You
you
just
to take it very seriously. You know,
just stern with it. Just
hey,
this.
man,
What was that?
You the one always got the ready to fight look.
But that's just my natural face. That's my That's my RBF, baby. That's my RBF. Hey man, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy PKIDD. I'm here with my man JC.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is the mini squad. So this is hey, we gotta go squad. Yeah. whatever, man. Listen, Chicago Bears have officially cut down to their 53-man roster.
Yes,
we know there may be some more changes as things go along, but you know, hey, for right now we're down to 53, and unfortunately, it looks like I owe somebody a job.
Oh man, we was talking mad crazy yesterday about Bayless Jones Jr.
Bayless Jones Jr. should have been on this roster. He shouldn't have been. Listen. He started out a receiver. Man was on punt return. Now all of a sudden he a running back. Listen, he got pictures on somebody. All right.
Hey,
he knows.
Shout out to C-Dub for standing 2 toes down, 10 toes down on Bayless Jones. That man said he's gonna be here. What did he say? He's the most up and down player, but he's also the most.
He said he had the highest. He raised his stock the most, but he's the most up and down.
He was all over the place for yesterday, but he said the chat backed him up. Bayless Jones is here to stay. He is impenetrable. Bayless Jones is Thanos at this point. He is impenetrable. God, you can't get rid of him.
What you mean by that, my boy?
Hey, man.
What you mean by that? Hey, listen, hold on, wait. There you go. Yep. Boom. There you go. All right, listen. Yeah. But shout out to the chat, man. Who we get in there? We got Crimson in here. Hey, Crimson always showing love. Appreciate you. Noah Beach, you know who was first. AO said, did Austin Reed make the cut?
Unfortunately. You said my mic isn't on, Noah? I'm hearing myself. Right?
His mic ain't on. Hold on.
Does anybody else hear me? Or was that just Noah? Because
it sounds like his mic is on. Hey, let's everybody, is JC mic on or not?
Just give us a year or
just something. I'm gonna keep talking in the meantime. But Reed is probably headed to the practice squad. There are a couple people who are headed to the practice squad. That is legitimate. And if you want to know, they finally let me have the control of the buttons, baby. I get to press buttons. Listen, first of all, I noticed that Joe uses this camera on him specifically because, like, my waves are popping on this thing. Man, I've never looked more. Thank you, sir. I've never looked more pretty on this show than right now. Jesus, Joe, you be holding out the best camera, baby. Listen, I be looking ugly in that seat over there compared to this. No, I ain't doing that. But hey, JC, let me ask you this: you said, is his mic on? No, it's not on. Nerd. All right, cool. Nerd. All right, cool. Let's figure out. Hey, is that mic on?
Yours?
That works. Yes.
All right. You can always pivot, brother.
And this is how we pivot. Boom.
Hello. Can you all hear me from this mic? Just give us a year.
Can you hear him on that mic? He sounds distant. Well, now he's on that mic. But we're gonna zoom in on him on that camera. We hear you now, but it's low.
We hear you, but it's low. Chris Osby. Okay. So you just gotta.
We're gonna figure this out. Don't worry about it. I got you.
Now.
Hold on. I got you. Say something now.
You're nerd. All right.
This man said.
Oh yeah, that's extremely. I can hear my soul through this right now. Okay.
Hey, listen. Guess what? We gonna figure it out. In the meantime, distance still. In the meantime, JC, we gonna talk about these cuts real quick, man.
Yeah.
Who were some surprise cuts that you had? I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth. We talked about Ripien yesterday. I talked about how he raised his stock and how even with Tyson Bagent having those trade talks, I thought that would be somebody to keep. Considering the rule change or decision on that.
Yeah.
I kind of expected them to cut the mic, but cut the I said cut the mic, cut a QB, but I didn't expect it to be Ripien and Reed. I know Ripien can, because he is a veteran. He doesn't have to go on waiver, so he can't get picked up by another team. I think he put good tape out there. What do you think?
Actually, and hopefully, I sound pretty good right now. I heard somebody say "yer," but anyway, we'll figure it out as we go. Austin Reed was not a surprise cut to me. Ripien was, because we just talked about how good he looked. The fact that he's coming from an offense that is, I was under Shane Waldron already. So, I mean, you're talking about a guy that's experienced, that brings that leadership, that experience in the building, versus a guy who's in his second year and a rookie in Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent. So, my thing is the fact that they let those guys go, and we were talking about maybe them trading or putting a package together to let go of Tyson because he wants to probably look for a way to start elsewhere. That tells me how confident they are in their two quarterbacks, that they don't necessarily need a veteran at this point. Maybe they go out and get another veteran. I'm not sure. But as of right now, they're standing pat with those two quarterbacks. And I think that's fine. Both of them are extremely talented. Obviously, Caleb is. And Tyson is a very, very viable backup. Probably, I want to say, even better than some of the 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. So, yeah, you got that. Man, I am sounding like I'm about to give a speech at a convention. This is how loud it is. I hope y'all hear me now.
Hey,
I hear my soul.
The fact that you said speech at a convention is crazy.
It ain't got to be it ain't got to be a convention. Just a normal convention.
I can hear that echo, though. I can definitely hear that echo.
I literally hear my thoughts. So.
See, this is what Joe's be going through sometimes, and I don't be like, see, what the heck? Jesus, I sound like I'm your conscience. Like, Don Robinson must have some unreleased. I can't put that up there, dog. I can't put that up there. But sophisticated is a good joke. That is a good joke. I'm not even going to lie to you. Hard joke. Pause. But
Don Robinson, God, what?
Don Robinson, you know what? A lot of people had him making this Robinson.
He was in front of which was blasphemy. You said he was in front of your boy that's been killing as far as past boy Austin Booker.
They had him on the depth chart above him.
That's insane.
I'm not saying he should have been. I'm just saying that's what the depth chart said. I'm like, I don't see it. I really don't see it. But it is what it is, man. Who's another one that we got? JC sound like he's on a panel asking the question at the convention. He does sound like that, though. Who's another person who we get? Blasingame.
Blasingame, yeah. Kyrie Blasingame was a good name because I know that he was brought in initially. He's a very good fullback. He used to back up, he used to be a fullback for the Titans in front of Derrick Henry. So that was somebody that always appealed to me from that standpoint. But I guess just because we have a different scheme with the way we're using our running backs, I feel like the running backs are going to be used more in the passing game rather than running, constantly. We're getting away from that grit and grind type of Bears football that we had back in the day, where you had the 1,400-yard rushers. We're probably going to, even though DeAndre, I think Swift is very talented enough to do that, I think they're going to be utilizing him in a way where he's more of a passing threat than a running back threat for all three downs. So, Blasingame was a surprise. Another surprise for me, I mentioned this guy who probably raised his stock out of nowhere playing Micah Baskerville. I was really hoping that Micah Baskerville stayed on the team. I was really impressed with some of his performances during preseason. That was a guy that really kind of stood out on tape, jumped out to me. He was always all over the place, always at the right time with tackles. So hopefully he finds a good place. Shout out to Micah Baskerville. He probably will be picked up pretty soon as well.
One person for me was Colin Johnson.
Yeah,
I know that it. I know that it doesn't seem as if he should have made it. I mean, it was one game. It was a Hall of Fame game. Let's be for real. But he was a standout. But you can't teach 6'6".
Yeah. Yes.
You can't teach.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. So, like, realistically, I think that he's going to be someone that gets picked up regardless. I like what the kid put out there, even in that worst situation. Because even though that field was trash, and I can make all the excuses for the defense, it was trash for him too.
Yeah.
And he still went out there and made plays. So I like that. I can hear that echo. I'm gonna switch back to you real quick, JC. Go and continue that real soon. I know what I need to do.
And Jacob Pognadon, man, shout out to you because that's another guy that I think that's number one on the list. We're talking about a person who was known for being, a ball hawk in college, as I mentioned yesterday. Reddy Stewart, man. I feel like that's just an unfortunate wave because had we not had the depth at our DB position, Reddy Stewart could cornerback room goes. I mean, Jalen Johnson obviously just got paid. He's a CB1, one of the best on-ball defenders as far as cornerbacks are concerned. Then you got Tariq Stevenson, who I think is going to take a gigantic leap this year. Then you got Kyler Gordon, who has already shown you what he can do as a healthy slot cornerback, and he can get in on that pressure in on the line as well, attacking the quarterback. Like, we've already addressed that to a certain point. So unfortunately, Reddy Stewart is one of those casualties that, hopefully he doesn't, get picked up. Maybe we can get him on the practice squad. I don't foresee that, but that was somebody that probably took a hit for that. Realistically, are you saying my mic died or are you saying PK's mic died? Because that's not.
No, you're not. It was your mic. I cycled.
It was my mic. Okay.
It was I cycled it. Keep going.
We're all good. Yeah. So that's a name. I mean, we're looking at all these names on here. There's another name. Obviously, we mentioned Adrian Colbert yesterday. He didn't really do himself a good disservice because, he didn't kind of have a good tackling performance in the Hall of Fame game. He let a few people slip by him, so that was obvious. Greg Stroman Jr. I mean, again, same reason. I like Greg Stroman Jr. I felt like he was somebody who impacted the game as well. He's been around here for a minute with the Bears. But, oh my goodness, that's how I hurt myself on another level. But I feel like he's impacted the Bears to a certain degree where he could also have stayed had we not had as deep of a cornerback room as well. So, you're talking about Reddy, you're talking about Greg. Hopefully those guys finds homes where they can have an impact as well. Everybody's talking about Travis Homer. Homer says Homer is a running back 5 and a punt return 3 and special teams gunner at times. Chris Rico, shout out to Chris. Yeah, Travis Homer, is he the one that got cut? I'm trying to actually look at this list. I don't see him on here. I believe he's one of the ones that got actually kept, but I could be wrong. And so, make it make sense. Crimson is going in. He said Colin Johnson, Reddy Stewart, Michael Baskerville gone, Bayless Jones, Larry Borman, and Don Robb still here. Obviously, I have no excuse for why Bayless Jones. I have no explanation for why Bayless is still here. I mean, clearly he has pictures on somebody at this point. Like, it's just inevitable at this point. Larry Borman to me is just
depth at this point. Back when we had a really poor offensive line, he was the starting right tackle. But I feel like Larry Bourne is someone who you need on this team when healthy so he can back up, at this point, Braxton Jones. You still got Karen Amagachi, who's also coming into his own, getting healthy as well. And so you look for those guys to try and be some impact players on this line. That's why you keep Larry Bourne. I think that's the reason why he's here. Dom Robb, I have no excuse for that. I'm with you, Crimson. I don't know why Dom Robb's here. There's somebody else that you could probably put on the special teams that can go and try and stop the punt returner or the kick returner. Dom Robb, to me, is not somebody that I'm going to be putting on the defensive line. I mean, you got Austin Booker, you got Chris Williams that we just got from the Browns. I mean, you got a slew of edge rushers that we already have on this team that are way better than Dom Robb at this point.
First off, it seems like your mic is working now. First of all, give a round.
No, he's saying Mike is good.
Mike is good. First of all, give a round of applause for JC.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was this close to running out of information.
That man was just sitting there talking.
I was this close to running out of stuff to say.
You can see in his face. He didn't know what he was about to say next. He was just sitting there.
Oh, boy. Come back, everybody.
Hey, so does it sound good now? I did have to cut your mic all the way off and change.
Okay, got you.
So we good now? Is the sound quality good? JC sounds like he's actually in the room and not across the way. My mic actually might be.
I'm all good now. Yeah, I think they say it sounds much better. I don't know if PKIDD is coming in clear.
Okay, but hey, listen, Jesus, God dang it! Listen, there we go. Hey, but the funny thing is, I will say this: with all the cuts. I talked to Pat briefly earlier. By the way, Pat appreciates all you all for tuning in. You know he's on vacation this week.
PK,
so guess what?
PK, we got over 100 in the chat already.
We got 100 chat?
Yes, 148.
With audio
baby,
issues? Oh, we got over 100 in the chat. Guess what?
Come on, baby. You know what that.
Wait. You right. Hold on. I gotta do.
What we gonna do?
Man, listen.
Boy, I swear.
Hey, listen, I have to mess with you. I have to mess
That's what's
with you.
up. That's what's up. Shout out to all you all supporting us, man. We appreciate y'all. Even though it's only the mini squad today, we appreciate the support.
Hey, man, listen, I'm a whole one-man wrecking crew.
Hey, you the man. Hey,
listen,
hey,
you better
talk your
put
stuff.
some respect
Talk
on
your
my
stuff.
goddamn name.
Talk your
Listen,
stuff.
I've been here for 4 years. You better put some mother respect on my
Put some
name.
stake in the game. All right, I got you.
We need one of those like explicit like things. I don't know what it is. But I don't know. That ain't gonna work.
That is not it. Come on, man. What are we
that's
doing
not
here?
gonna work. Jesus. Hey, listen, hit the subscribe button.
Yes,
Y'all know
sir.
what to do, man. Get in tune with us, man. The one thing I will say is, as much as I talked about Bayless, happy that he made the squad.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that one because I do have some people in the chat, some people who are actually like teased me about it. I'm happy he made the team. Listen, the kid is living his dream.
Are you? Because you got a jersey that costs about $96 going coming up.
First of all, Calvin is gonna get a jersey. By the way, I pay my debts. It may take me a minute to pay him, but I pay my debts. Calvin is gonna get this jersey. Here's the one thing I will say: it's gonna be from Temu.
That see-through club jersey.
Hey,
that see-through club jersey finna be popping.
It's gonna be an 81. It's gonna be an 81 Caleb Williams jersey. He gonna get this jersey though. He gonna get this work. But
that's hilarious.
It is what it is, though. It is what it is. But I will say this: we did want to make sure that we went live. Kind of talked about the shit this moment with you all.
Yeah.
But there may be some more moves. And here's the one thing, and this is really for the chat. I want to say this. This is for the chat. Were there any surprise cuts around the league that you thought that the Bears should probably show interest in?
I'm trying to think of the one player off the rip. Carl Lawson, that's who it is. Carl Lawson, I believe he was a defensive end. Carl Lawson. Now the name of the team escapes me on which he was, but I mean, if healthy, Carl Lawson was a name. He used to play for the Buffalo Bills. I know that for sure. I'm not exactly sure what team he was on now, but I heard that he was let go. Carl Lawson is a name that, might move the needle a little bit if you're talking about depth. You can't do that bad as far as Carl Lawson. I liked him back then when he was still, projected to be really, really good. I do like that name. I heard about that. I believe Caleb Fairley was a first rounder a few years ago, and they let him go. So Caleb Fairley, I saw that one. That was actually a surprise. Ricky Stromberg. I appreciate all you all putting names in the chat because, now you're helping me remember.
Absolutely.
Augustine, I think that said Ricky Stromberg. Ricky Stromberg is a center, I want to say. And I mean, hey, we're talking about centers.
I was looking at the people they cut, and I was specifically looking on their O-line because their O-line was better than ours. Now, it was probably the weakest O-line they had last season in probably the last 3 years, I would say, like maybe 3 years, but it was still better than the Bears. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, who's over there that we should actually look at? And the names I saw, I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of tape on them, but that's also could be a very good thing. Like it could be a good thing. I wanted to see if there was anything that Poles would like make a move for, because the roster is not done. He's going to make some other moves for this particular roster.
I think he's not done either. Yeah. I agree.
Whether it be a trade now, trade mid-season, there is something there. Kadarius Toney is crazy. Kadarius Toney is crazy.
I don't know. Kadarius is kind of he's had his chance to shine. He's had his chance to shine when he got drafted by the Giants. He's had his chance to shine with the greatest quarterback probably in Patrick Mahomes, and he still didn't get it right because he had butterfingers. So I mean, as talented as he is with the ball in his hands, once he catches it, Kadarius Toney is a liability at this point. I mean, would you take him over Velus though? Yes, I would switch him out with Velus right now.
Dropped all them passes last season.
Velus. Yes, the man dropped a lot of passes. Like they used him. He's a special talent. But
where
he one
of the reasons they almost lost.
That's true. He's talented.
In
like
what way?
if you look at his film from college to the things that he does well, when he actually catches the ball, he's talented. But he has an issue with drops. And you just cannot trust a special talent that does not know how to keep his hands on the ball.
You just named Velus Jones.
I think he's a better version of Velus Jones.
He's only a better version.
I'd rather take a better version of Velus Jones than Velus Jones. Velus Jones 2.0. Come on our team and replace Velus Jones.
I don't think he's better.
You don't think so?
I think he just had more opportunities to mess up. And he had more opportunities to actually put good tape out there, so they used him a lot. And he was a good target. Patrick Mahomes definitely tried to give him the ball a couple of times.
Yeah.
No, dog.
No, I mean, I'm being silly. I don't want him anywhere near our team. I'm being silly. If Patrick Mahomes couldn't make him shine, then who can? Like we're good. There's another player that came off the roster from the Chiefs. Everybody was raving about him because he used to hold the 40-time record. Justin Ross, that that was drafted by Cincinnati at first. He was on the Chiefs. I believe he got cut as well. You know, all these speedsters, all these former talented players, man, getting cut. So that was an obvious one. I saw somebody mention a name. This is a guy who we used to have who actually...
I knew you was going there. There.
That don't mean I want him because we clearly don't need him now.
But
yep, a reunion with Allen Robinson. I don't know about no reunion. We might be a funeral. But Allen come on, bro. I ain't say nothing about no reunion. That's your boy Tony Tsunami. That's your boy Tony Tsunami that said that. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying it's a funny thing that he got cut because he's not at the point where he's impactful anymore.
You played yourself.
Okay, whatever. You know what?
Congratulations,
Tony. That one's for you.
Played yourself.
Man, what is y'all affinity? First of all, he didn't get no separation here.
He was okay here.
You see the hesitation right there?
Yeah, I did hesitate. I should have just said it.
You thought about it for a second, and you was like,
oh, man.
Everybody want to sit there and say he made Mitch look better. No, Mitch was like, just try.
Yeah,
and he threw it in his direction, and he came down with it, but he ain't did nothing ever since. And he's had better quarterbacks.
Nothing impactful. And you're right, because there used to be the question is, did he actually have really good quarterbacks? He had Blake Bortles and somebody else. I can't remember. Maybe Gardner Minshew, but he's done. He's past his prime anyway. What does Bobby say? Bobby Bottles?
Bobby Bottles. He's talking about Kadarius Toney. You can't. Andy Reid benched this player during the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game. That says a lot.
That does say a lot.
You are right, my guy. Yeah. Anytime he was Javon Wims. He was that one play that we had. Listen, if there was one play to save anything, it was that one play. I'm gonna hold that play forever. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, Allen Robinson is Cook. I do agree with that. It's been a wrap, and we can keep moving on. Hey, by the way,
I think Ross was on Washington, by the way, in college. I believe he was on Washington, but he got drafted by Cincinnati. That might be the team you're talking about that has orange. But yeah. You just having a good time with those buttons.
Hey, listen,
but what we got next on the docket?
Y'all barely.
CAP.
y'all barely let me press these buttons. So I don't know what these buttons.
He's just having fun now at this point. You know.
Guess what?
See?
Guess what? That's
here we go. Joe,
it's over.
Joe,
200 in the chat.
Oh, we have 200. Oh, okay. All right. 200 in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.
I was looking for that button. That's all I wanted to do. I was looking for that button.
Shout out for you all, man. We appreciate the support, especially on a day like this when this is just the show might go off the rails any second.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong. Starting this show, the mics didn't work, even though we tested them before. They had no volume. Hey, listen, Joe was just like, figure it out, and it was like, okay, we'll figure it out. We're here. This second half of this show, though, because I know it's only so much we can talk about with these people on this 53-man roster. Because I kind of just want to get to the football, baby.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to get there. We know who our starters are.
September 8th, baby.
Listen, how many days is that? How many days is that?
Oh, that's how you know you're ready. Because, I mean, what is that? That's about another 12 days.
About 2 weeks. I just want to get to the football. I want to know if Caleb Williams is really him. I want to see what Shane put out there.
Excuse me. I think we know he's him.
Don't you dare. I just want to get to it. Just get to it at this point. Yeah. So at this point, the second half of this, JC, I'm going to put this on you because you had a draft over the weekend.
Oh, man. I had a couple drafts. Oh, yeah. And they went very well.
So we're gonna start this second segment off talking about some fantasy football because here's why we're going to do this. Friday may be up and down. I know Friday we typically do it at 4. Pat being out of town, I may not be available. So we may not necessarily have the same show on Friday.
Gotcha.
That's up in the air. So it's only so many days we have to actually get this particular content out. And we have several people who have drafts along the way. So in the chat, I want to know who's your must-have. First 3 rounds. First 3 rounds. Just make up your mind. First 3 rounds, and I'm going to give you a spot. You ready? Snake draft. Y'all ready?
Snake draft. Okay, so you're giving
you're number 6.
You're number 6
in the snake draft.
And how many players are in the? How many
12
people
players.
So you're literally in the middle.
You're literally in the middle.
Okay.
You're literally in the middle. So I'm gonna do that. I want you. So you're number 6.
Okay.
I want the
I'm
chat
number
to be
6.
number 10.
Okay.
So chat, you all are going to draft against. Hey, listen, and this is gonna be my strategy too. I'm gonna use this because I'm number 10. What number are you?
Oh, and whose draft?
At Joe's draft.
Oh, I don't know. I gotta check.
Think you
I
are
didn't even
6.
check. Am I 6? If
Yeah.
I'm 6, I'm all right.
Here
Let's go. Here we go.
Here we go. So realistically,
Shut up, Grady.
Number 6. Who are you anticipating to be there? And be realistic. Number 6. Who you anticipating to be there?
Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this. Who I think is gonna go before then, and then who might be there. Everybody has been debating on whether or not to take Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill. Those are the two biggest names at the top of the draft. Obviously, we know Tyreek Hill just won top 100, and who I just mentioned, Christian McCaffrey obviously is probably the best running back, the most versatile running back in the league on one of the most explosive offensive teams in the league. So yeah, I'm going to guess those two are being taken either back to back. Then you got probably the best wide receiver in the league at this point who just got paid a lot of money, got the bag in Dallas, CD Lamb. So those are your top 3 in whatever rotation, whatever order. Then after that, maybe Jamar Chase. Maybe Jamar Chase at 4. I'm going to go with.
Now I have a cheat sheet, by the way.
Saquon wouldn't be. Saquon might be there at 6. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might take the running back from Miami. Saquon might be there at 6, is what I'm saying.
At 6?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Saquon might be there at 6 because you're talking about.
No, I'm saying you would take him at 6.
I'm saying he might be there. No, I might not take him. I might not take him. I might not take him at 6. Here's who I'll take at 6. It's going to be between 2 people. The Miami running back, if he stays healthy, I think he'll have a breakout season. Devin Kane, however you say his name, or I'm going to take AJ Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles. Those 2 names are very, very strong candidates to have really good seasons. AJ Brown obviously already solidified himself as one of those do-it-all wide receivers. Can go up and get it, red zone threat, deep ball threat, middle of the field corner route threat. Like he can do everything. Devin Kaney has elite speed on a team that has a bunch of elite speed. So it's like pick your poison. That's why I think that he's somebody that can stand out on a team full of speedsters. Obviously, you're talking about Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert. Like those guys, Odell Beckham, which he ain't speed no more, but I mean, it's still OBJ. He can still catch it every now and then. So that team is full of talent. I expect Devin Kaney to be nice. Of course, yeah, okay, Grady, appreciate you. Yeah, Bijan, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see what the hype is about Kyren Williams until I actually see him do his thing on a greater level. Hey, that's just me.
Bro, last season, and I ended up taking an L because he ended up getting injured.
Okay. But you had him?
I had Kyren. I traded Cooper Kupp for Kyren Williams and Puka.
You traded Cooper Kupp for
Kyren Williams and
Puka?
Puka.
Who in the world accepted that trade?
Well, that's what they offered me because I had Kupp.
They gave you Puka Nacua, who at this point is better than Cooper, and Kyren Williams.
So in our league,
did you win?
No, I didn't win, but I had I had other. Now the trade in itself, I won the trade.
You definitely fleeced somebody, yeah, on the same team.
But Kyren Williams ended up getting injured, maybe like 3 games after Cooper came back, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah.
But Puka was still taking off.
He was killing.
So it still evened out that way in the trade.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Kyren to take off. I actually just like what Puka was putting out. So I took the trade simply because I felt like Puka was on a heater. Stafford was going to him a lot, and it ended up working out that way. But Kyren was also going off. So I look at it now. It's like, hey, that kid put out a lot of tape, put out some good tape, and I can see why people would take him. But if I'm being smart about this, like if I'm my first running back wouldn't be
Kyron, it'd probably be Hall. Because I'm thinking Aaron
Brees.
Rodgers. Yeah, Brees Hall.
Oh, yeah, that's a name I forgot. Yeah, Brees is nice.
Only because Aaron Rodgers is coming off an Achilles. I do not expect them to grind it out with him throwing up a bunch of passes immediately.
Right.
Like he's still, I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off of for most people, a career-ending injury.
Bro.
And so if he comes back out dying, great. Like more power to him.
Yep.
He's one of the GOATs, right? Unfortunately, we got to say that.
He's
He's one of the GOATs.
Because that team depends on him.
But if you're smart, you're going to mix that up. And so I'm expecting Hall to get a lot of yards and a lot of carries because of it. If you're going to be really smart about that situation. So I look at that as that. Like I would, he's on my list. We are playing PPR. A name that, JT, I don't know about JT taking him initially. I'm not saying he's not a good running back. It's like, how are they going to utilize Anthony Richardson?
I've never that, by the way, we getting into that conversation. I want to touch on Anthony Richardson for a second too, but going back to Jonathan Taylor, I'll be honest with you. I think his best days are behind him. I think his best season is behind him. I think I'm not saying he's going to be impactful, not going to be impactful. I think his best season is behind him already. That's just my opinion.
Really?
I could be wrong, but I mean, I feel like there's going to be better running backs by the end of this season than Jonathan Taylor. And a lot of it has to do with, to me, the team around him. I mean, yeah, Michael Pittman's good. I feel like their offensive line isn't as good as it used to be, obviously. Anthony Richardson, I'm just going to get into this Anthony Richardson conversation right now. I have no idea why Anthony Richardson is placed so high in fantasy football. I understand the potential, but he has not done anything yet. He got injured. I understand the potential, but if you've seen his preseason, it wasn't that great. It wasn't like leaps and bounds. Like, oh, you're better than Aaron Rodgers. You're better than Justin Herbert. When it comes to fantasy, like I get you can run. You're a tall, strong quarterback.
Yeah,
you probably have that same mold as Cam Newton, but there's nothing that you've done yet. There's no proof. Why are you out so high? Anthony Richardson should be like a round 4 pick.
I'm going to say this name not out of hate, but because of the comparable. Because this is who he's legitimately compared to.
I know where you're going.
Did he have a better preseason than Justin Fields? That's a real question. That's a real question. Did Anthony Richardson have a better preseason than Justin Fields? Now, I know offensive line different. I get that. I get all the variables, but still what was put on tape, did he not look better than Justin Fields did? Because that's his comparable. His comparable was Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson. So I'm not just trying to pick on Justin. That's literally who they compared him to. Well,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's probably a lazy comparison if we're being honest. Like they all kind of look the same in they
black
seem,
QB who can run. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that is what I'm trying to say.
I know, you can say it,
but at the same time, I mean, I said it. I feel like that is a lazy comparison because he hasn't put anything on film just yet like that, like to really strongly convince me that you should take him over other better quarterbacks who've had really, really good seasons already in the league. That to me, and has better offensive weapons around him. Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, yeah, sure, at the running back position, but who else? Am I missing somebody? Who else? Like, what are we talking about? Who said what?
Hey, bro.
Oh, Josh, I saw Josh.
That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. Hey, listen, if Justin walked into the stadium this studio right now, he got it.
He got it.
Hey, what, he like 6'4"? He like 6'4", 2 something?
30-something, 20-something pounds, boy.
Hey, somebody called him a masculine Michael Jackson. The way they looked at him. Listen,
God.
dog, that was hilarious to me.
Look.
He got it. I'm not running no fade with him. Like, nah, you got it. But based off the tape, run the fade with yourself. Hey, listen, based off the tape.
Yeah, I'm good on Anthony Richardson being that high. I mean, yeah, you take a flyer on him. Maybe he does perform well if he stays healthy. Maybe he does prove that he should be up there for next year. But this year, I don't see why he's that high. That's just me.
I got a cheat sheet now.
What you got?
That says, and this is based off of a PPR league. right? PPR league. This is pretty much. And again, we're talking fantasy for those because we got some drafts coming up. We won't be having a show during the weekend, so we're going to get this out now. We may not have a show Friday to cover this, so it was a little light today. We're going to give y'all some of this work today. So a PPR league, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 running backs that get taken in the first 16 picks, based off of the production and what they anticipate. C-Mac being number 1, Bijan being number 2, Hall being 3, and this is not in order of when they get taken, but like the order of running back position. Gibbs, Pacheco, Taylor, Henry, White, Tien, and Williams all go before Cooper Kupp.
And these are all just strictly running backs?
It's all strictly running backs. The only other position, so out of the first 16 picks, 10 of them are running backs. The other 6, if based off of this and based off of PPR and fantasy index and all that stuff, is CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, JJ, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Puka Nacua. So realistically, the best receivers in the league get mixed in with all the top running backs, and then it's off to the races from there.
Yeah.
Here's my question, right? Because I said you're 6. You still didn't tell me who.
No, I said it was going to be between AJ Brown or Devin Achane. And somebody put it like in broke it down in the chat, and I feel like it's A-Chain or A-Chain.
He is ranked number on my cheat sheet.
He's actually down some.
He's down quite a bit.
Yeah, but see, the reason why I'm having
number 24 of running backs for them.
The reason why I personally like him, and again, maybe it's just me, but this is why I don't get so overwhelmed with, I should be picking this person because PFF or Pro Fantasy Pro Standard says that they should be placed here. I go off of what I think a player is going to do in a system. I look at some of the most explosive teams in the league. You got Miami, you got Houston, you got San Francisco. I feel like maybe Baltimore is on the fringe of being an explosive team. You clearly got Chicago, who has 3 top receivers, a good running back, 2 really good tight ends. Like, those are the teams that you want to look at and say, you know what? Who from those teams can I pull from? And I think they'll either have a breakout season or they'll continue their trajectory that they already had from last year. For me, Achane, before he got hurt last year, was already on a heater. And like I said, you have so many other people to account for that have already made a name for themselves on that team that's who the defense is going to key in on. You know everybody's going to key in on Tyreek Hill. Man is number 1 in rankings right now. Like, everybody is going to key in on the cheetah. Then Jalen Waddle. Then you got I can't remember the tight end, but you also got Raheem Mostert. Like, you have so many pieces that you have to account for that I feel like Achane is somebody that's going to kind of like just slide under the radar and just have a really good breakout season if he stays healthy. So for me, I would pick Achane or AJ Brown. Another name that I want to put out there, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, this is a big if. And actually, I did pick this guy because we already had a few drafts. Garrett Wilson, baby. Garrett Wilson is an elite wide receiver. He hasn't reached his potential yet because of the quarterback, obviously. But if Aaron Rodgers and him continue to because that connection has already been real nice from what I've seen in training camp and in preseason highlights. So yeah, Garrett Wilson might have a breakout season. You're talking about somebody that won't really have a lot of challenge when it comes to receptions too. That's another angle. Look for people who don't have a lot of challenges to them getting a lot of receptions, like an Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's the next best person. Okay, Jameson Williams might come on a little bit, but it's clear that St. Brown is that guy at the team, so he's the go-to for Jared Goff. On Miami, that's Tyreek Hill. He's the clear go-to guy. On Cincinnati, it's Jamar Chase. Even on lesser teams like the Panthers, the sleeper pick that I think some people should be looking at is Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, even when he was with Pittsburgh, had some really good reception numbers year to year. And so that guy, if he stays healthy, I think he's somebody who won't be challenged as much for getting a ton of touches and a ton of looks going his way from the Bryce Young. So Those are the people that I look for. Marvin Harrison Jr., very good name, Tony. Obviously, Marvin is finna cook.
Jr. right now. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is based off of PPR, and this is just doing the numbers behind it. One, you can't account for health, and one of the reasons why I did so poorly last season was health. A lot of my players got injured and things of that nature. But the logic was sound, and here's the logic: if you really take statistically the highest point production of point getters in the league, you come to a certain subset of players that you have to take. C-Mac put up 354 points according to this one last season when he's projected. That's QB era. That's up there. That's in the QB range. So guess what?
He's better than one of the 32. Yes,
for sure. CeeDee Lamb, he put up QB numbers.
Yeah.
So you have certain receivers you should take if they're available.
Yeah.
You also have some quarterbacks that you should take early on because of the amount of points they've consistently put up based off of a PPR league and things of that nature. Patrick Mahomes is still number one to me. A lot of people kill me for this. Taking the QB early is detrimental. No, it depends on what QB you take. Patrick Mahomes is for one, he's projected to put up over 400 points. There's not many players who are projected to put up 400 points, even out of the QBs. Now, QBs consistently put up 300 to 350 points within that in a season.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's like I'm some wizard. I'm just saying I do numbers.
No, that's true though.
Looking at the numbers, looking at historical data, it's like, okay, on average, a good QB is going to put up about 350 points. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is putting up 4 to 420.
And that was on one in a bad year.
I'm picking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm picking him early because he's still in his prime. He's still young. I mean, I know we've talked about him a lot, but guess what? Fantasy-wise, he's still a dog. You know who you don't pick early? Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I'm not high on him. I've never been. I'm going to be honest with you. I know Joe is Joe Cool, but I've never been high on Joe Burrow.
Never picking him high again.
I've never been high on Joe Burrow.
You know another QB that's ranked to go really high, like put up a lot of points?
Who you got?
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Now
this
he
is where
doesn't
the
have the
argument
targets
is.
though.
Huh?
He don't have the same targets anymore.
No, he doesn't. And that's what I wanted to kind of get into is they have him as the quarterback one. Now, I'll admit.
What list you got? I got him as QB2.
Usually, well, QB1 or QB2. So in a few websites, I did see QB1, but that's interchangeable depending on somebody's opinion. But I know for a fact, and I'll just say it: me and Joe in our draft that we had over the weekend in our boy Marcus's league, I drafted Josh Allen. I drafted Patrick Mahomes too. I don't know how they let me get both of those guys.
How the heck you get both of them?
Well, it's a 10. Well, first of all, it's a 10-person league, so there's more room for you to get better players.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how I got Patrick Mahomes. That's still crazy because I picked him like third. I still got players before him.
Because people are still buying into that whole QB's going to be there. And it's like, no,
it's not.
There is a pecking order to this.
No.
There is like the top 3, maybe 4 in the league, especially when it comes to fantasy, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah.
Like Trevor Lawrence is expected to put up 340 points this season.
Well, they definitely gave him a good team around him this year, so he might be able to do some things. He might make some noise because they finally gave him a better team. So, I mean, Trevor might be okay. He's not there as far as the upper echelon of quarterbacks yet, though. But going back to Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen, for a fact, you mentioned he doesn't have the same, obviously, skilled players. He clearly doesn't have Stephon Diggs anymore. That's C.J. Stroud's boy now. You have Shakir, who I think might be a good player, but he's somebody who's still coming on a up and up. You got the rookie Keon Coleman.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, the dude is funny. Yeah, he's definitely
I like his mind, how he approaches the game.
Yes.
His approach to the game is like veteran-like. I appreciate that.
FSU product. Yeah, man. He's somebody who probably can surprise. So I would say maybe Josh Allen might not have a deficiency when it comes to that, but you just don't know for sure. Because I mean, you believe when he had Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, who by the way, Gabe Davis, I believe now he's in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. Those players, they were really a good 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
You had that tandem. You just don't know about Josh Allen putting up the same numbers because there's just new talent around him. But I think that he'll make it work. Plus, you always can expect Josh Allen to run the ball as well. That's another thing when it comes to fantasy is he's a good mobile quarterback too. He's big, he's stout, he's not afraid of contact. He kind of is like the white Cam Newton to me in a sense because the man will run through you if he has to and jump over you if he can.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that could be a hit or miss. but I'm going to assume that might be a hit. Patrick Mahomes, to me, is underrated this year because everybody saw a drop-off last year just because he didn't have Tyreek Hill, obviously. He hasn't had Tyreek Hill for a minute. Rashee Rice is coming along. Kadarius Toney was a failure because they tried to use him as a gadget player. That was the guy that was supposed to be somebody that was nice on the team. He didn't pan out. You obviously always got Travis Kelce as the steady tight end one, Hall of Famer. We know what he does.
He's the person I think takes a step back this year.
You think so?
I think because he's older than Patrick.
Yeah.
He's older than Patrick. He's been like the number one receiver since the light just got brighter all of a sudden. He's been a number one receiver since I know just randomly, right? He's number one receiver since they lost Hill. And at the same time, again, was he 35? He's 35 this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Travis Kelce is up there. Yeah,
he's
let me check
there.
that.
He's
you might be right.
I'll be honest. I see some sleepers in regards to our tight ends. I think Kmet's going to make some moves, mainly because a tight end, especially in Shane Waldron's scheme, if a QB gets in trouble, he's looking for that tight end.
What's weird is Fantasy Pros has Kmet at 18. Now, personally, I think Kmet has made it into the top 10, or at least at 10.
Top 10.
In my opinion, just period.
Or top 10 tight ends.
But as far as fantasy, top 10 tight ends.
Top 10 tight ends?
I think. But here in fantasy, they have him at 18. They got Taysom Hill, who is kind of has a tight end designation. I'm going to be honest with you. That actually might be nasty because Taysom Hill, every now and then, he'll give you about 30-some random points in a game.
Yeah.
He'll break off. He'll throw a touchdown, run for a touchdown. Like, yeah, he'll do his thing every now and then. They got Luke Musgrave ahead of him that plays for the Packers. You got T.J. Hockenson, which I can see that he's pretty good on the Vikings. Dalton Schultz, I think he's good.
Anybody on the Vikings now.
What?
Until Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold to me is more.
He's so hit and miss them.
Yeah, he is. You're right. He is.
You have to really understand what you're getting.
That's actually a good point.
He could sit there and light it up, and you're gonna see JJ has some of the best yards in season of his career.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna see these two receivers. Because who's there?
Jordan Addison. Yeah.
Jordan Addison was on pace to break records with Kirk Cousins. I don't see Sam Darnold doing that.
Well, no, I wouldn't put them in the same. Yeah, and that's where you give Kirk Curtis his flowers because Kirk definitely is way better than Sam Darnold. Definitely. You got Freiermuth. Freiermuth is somebody who I had last year. I like Pat Freiermuth. I like his potential. I just never really trusted the quarterback position. You had
Hockenson is hurt.
You had Pickett.
He's hurt.
Hockenson is hurt. Okay, all right. Well, didn't know that update. All right. Hurt out for 4 weeks. All right. Well, that clearly shows him not going to be picked up. So you got to adjust accordingly from that.
Hold on. We want to pause. I want to pause this real quick.
What we got?
Hey, I'm going to just call you Reggie. I don't know how to – was it Reginald? Is that how you pronounce it? No disrespect. Caleb didn't make the roster, baby. Caleb did not make the roster. They said they did not like the way that he painted his nails. They did not like the way that he wanted a piece of the team, ownership of the team. They said they didn't like the fact that he it seemed like he was putting on airs. He was just too advanced for the system. They thought Tyson Bagent was like the number one, clear-cut number one, which is why they let go Ripien and they just put Caleb as a QB2. They took all his jerseys off the stands. Like if you go to NFL.com right now, there's no jerseys for Caleb Williams right now. And the claw, the paw, whatever you want to call it, that trademark failed too. So all of that went back, and Caleb is not on the roster. All right, JC, what was you saying? Also, Roman Doomsday said he don't like him anymore. Rome said, "Hey, this is not my guy." You know, Keenan was like, "Who's this prima donna here?"
What
no,
are we
don't like
doing
him.
right now? Did Caleb make the roster?
Did Caleb make the roster? I don't know, dog. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Pose was like, I thought I had it.
Reginald, where are you from, bro?
Yeah, you know.
Where are you from, Reginald?
What else?
Clearly not Chicago.
And they apologized to Justin Fields for trading him
you know that ain't
away.
The thing. You know that ain't true.
There was a petition signed to keep him on the team, and Pose was like, "We should have did that." And so all of that happened within the last 40 minutes of this show.
The last 40 minutes. Oh boy! All right. Are we ready to move on?
So okay,
all right.
Number
yep,
6, you said that's what you said. Number 6 there, and Cool. So in a snake draft, that means you technically don't get another pick to like 18.
Yeah, no, you don't get another pick for like that's 6.
12. Yeah. If it's 12, man, you got 12
13 picks.
So who would you get from there?
Well, if okay, so I'm in this year in this league, rather this year in the way fantasy is going.
Based off my cheat sheet, you want to know who they got for you?
I took 2 wide receivers. I tried to take receivers first. That was my strategy.
2 wide receivers and still ended up with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen?
No. In my other league. In that league, I took Christian McCaffrey first. I was first in picking.
Okay.
And I still got Josh Allen late on.
Jesus.
And then I got Devin Akane and I got Patrick Mahomes. I got Zay Flowers.
You don't got nobody in your league, huh?
What do you mean?
Like, so if you pick Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, who did everybody else get?
I mean, there's names on the board. It's just a matter of them not strategizing well.
Okay.
Because here's my thing. Do I know that I'm gonna keep both of those guys? Absolutely not. But you know what I got? I got big time trade bait. So if you want Josh or if you want Patrick, you got to come see me. Knock on my door and I will fleece you. My name is Ryan Poles 2.0, baby. That's why I did it.
You know, based off the way you make trades in Monopoly,
This ain't got nothing to do with Monopoly, man.
I would never trade with you. Listen, you would be holding on to Josh Allen the entire thing. Josh Allen be sitting on your bench, and you'd be like, "Dang, Josh Allen put up 40 points this game."
I ain't worried about it.
You should have played
because that's 40 points somebody else ain't got.
Yeah. Hey, King J, for those who are just tuning in, we are talking fantasy because, again, some people will have some drafts between now and the weekend. We may not have a show on Friday. So with that being the case, we want to get this out the way now. So please put in your sleeper pick. Put in your sleeper pick as well. JC just told me his strategy. Basically, he's going running back at 6 and he's going receiver at 18. So, you know, you can expect him based off my list. That means he's going to go he's going to go Breece Hall at 6, and
I ain't picking up Breece Hall.
And he's going to go Garrett Wilson at hey, that may not be a bad idea.
Actually, I might. Well, first of all, I never picked 2 players from the same team in the first round, in the first 2 rounds, like back to back. That's another rule I have.
Shoot,
that's my rule.
I'm gonna pick
unless
Patrick
they're
Mahomes
extremely talented.
I'm gonna pick Patrick Mahomes.
If it's Patrick and Travis, okay. That's why I said unless they're extremely talented. I'll take Patrick and Travis back to back, but I usually don't take 2 players from the same team back to back.
By the way, you got to make sure you join the Breeze draft.
I know Baki has been saying that. Make sure you got to show me how to get in that boy because I don't think I'm part of the Discord. But we'll try to make it work for you, Baki. Shout out to Baki. Another name that I think is a sleeper when it comes to tight ends. This is a team that isn't really going to make a whole lot of noise this year, but I mean, individually, I think this rookie will have a very, very good season. First tight end off the board this year. Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers from Georgia.
That boy a dog.
That boy is a dog. Georgia Bulldog, to be exact. He is a do-it-all type of tight end that is actually almost like a wide receiver in a sense.
Pain.
What we got? What do we got? What do you say, Tony?
I remember the first time I did fantasy football, I drafted Shady McCoy first, and I was trying to get rid of him all season. He turned up after I traded him.
That sucks. After week 12, you got rid of him about week 12, and then that's when you decided to actually do something. That sucks. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Hey, man. Yeah, Hayes, I got a haircut, man. You know.
Hey, about time, man. My man got to look good out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just he was out here looking homeless. I don't know what was happening right now.
I was looking bad for a minute.
He was looking like Caleb Williams for a good minute.
I was on my Caleb, man.
Hey, man, what is with like for real?
He's trying to. Well, have you seen him in college? You seen the hair flowing and everything? He's trying to go for that. He used to have almost like a mohawk thing.
Caleb, listen, check it out. Check it out.
Flowing mohawk.
Listen. Go ahead, cut that joint.
Let the man do what he wants.
Man, I don't want to see no light skinned dude with dreads on. I don't
want to get no dreads. I wouldn't see Caleb.
He had dreads.
No, Caleb didn't have dreads.
Whatever it was. I mean, the twist.
That man had a wavy mohawk in college when he had
dog,
full
I don't
on
want to see that. We don't want to see that. Listen, we don't want to see that. You either going full dread or you going full waves. Invest in a wave cap.
I got you, Baki. Appreciate you.
Invest in a wave cap. Just don't do that. We ain't trying to see all that. Listen, wave it up. And mine is baby wave. See, don't even worry about it. But he was waving. Caleb doesn't cut here during wartime. He said.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you know, you got more important things to worry about. Come on, ain't nobody worried about a haircut when you trying to change the trajectory of a. First of all, organization has never had a 4,000-yarder passer and 30 touchdown in a season passer. He's got better things to do.
What does that have to do with the aesthetic of
Because it shows
How
that
do you
he's
look
about grit.
outside
He's
of
focused on more important things. The man is not going to cut his hair
how long you
until
think
he
it
gets a
takes-
Super Bowl in Chicago. Here we go.
JC, how long you think it takes to get a haircut?
What you mean? How long it take to get there? 2
How you
weeks.
think it takes to get
Every
a
2
haircut?
weeks. Oh, you mean how long
it
it
take to get
30
a haircut?
minutes.
30 minutes?
30 minutes.
You mean
40
to tell me
minutes.
he ain't got 30 minutes to get a haircut?
Hey man, that man's in the playbook all day, every day. He's on the field, or if he ain't on the field, he's messing with his dog at home, and he's in his playbook.
Hey, listen, Hayes. I don't try to have the waves, and I still end up with these little waves, dog. Don't do me. Don't do me. Don't pause.
Kids
Wait a
said,
minute.
kid,
pause.
White
I don't
Side
like
coming
the way
out
that
calling
sound.
them Dre.
I don't like the way that sound. Anyway, Tony Dion said it best. When you look good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good, baby. Don't worry about it. That's all I'm saying.
I think Caleb ain't got no problem with confidence. The man has painted his nails, and he said he doesn't care what you think of him.
This is the
confidence on another
This is
level.
the question for me. This is
Okay.
the question for me. Everyone thought I was crazy. I had this full debate at work. I told them
Good question.
I told them that if you really believe Caleb is him, you take him as early as round 3. Because the hype around him is
I'll tell you what I did. I took Caleb in my IDP league a few days ago in round 4 because I was back to back. There's a 14 team league, 14 players. I was 14th, so that means I have 14th and 15th pick. I picked AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson, and then when it came back around to me, C-Dub was the only person I was worried about who was in front of me by two positions, and he didn't pick him. He picked Mike Evans, and I got Caleb and Chris Olave. So not only do I have 3 really good wide receivers, I had Caleb, and then I got Derek Carr later. So I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, Caleb for me, he went round 4. I don't mind picking him early. I wouldn't say you shouldn't mind picking him early either.
In the Breeze League, in Baki's league, if Baki don't pick him, I'm picking him round 1.
You picking him round 1?
I'm picking him round 1.
Hey,
I'm picking him round 1. Hey, listen.
go hard or go home.
Hey,
Go
here we
on.
go. Let's have some
Here we
fun.
go.
Let's have some fun. I'm gonna pick him
it's
round
your
1.
pick. It's what you do. And you know what? Another thing that I don't understand, like this is why you need to sometimes throw out the strategy. You don't know what the other guys in your league are going to do. Like as soon as somebody starts picking like somebody like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson comes off the board,
All the QBs
are going to come
Every
off the
last one
board.
of them
That's how it
fly off.
always works in our league. Don't expect the people said that you should get 2 running backs in the front league, so it's just running backs and wide receivers in the first round. No, because somebody might surprise you and go a whole nother route. Somebody might get Torrey Taylor in the first round as a punter, even though a punter's not even on the fantasy football. I'm just saying, Torrey Taylor might be on the fantasy football league. I just wanted to mention his name. But what I'm saying is that
no. Say
what?
that again. Why'd you use that line, dog?
What are you talking about?
Why Tory Taylor, dog? Why?
You don't always got love for Torrey Taylor. I got to mention Torrey Taylor at least once every show. All right. You don't know when I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it. All right. So Torrey Taylor, right? No, in all seriousness, you don't know the strategy of the other guys you're playing against until they can tell you all day, oh, I'm going to take 2 receivers. Oh, yeah, I got Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, I'm going to take him first. And until they're on the clock, they could be lying to you. They could be fleecing you. So don't believe everything that you hear. Throw it all out the window and continue to just draft the way you think you should draft according to how other people are picking. That's how I look at it. And hey, you're talking to somebody that's won a lot of leagues. In a lot of leagues.
How many leagues you won?
In the big league that I've been in the
many
IDP league where we pick individual offensive and defensive players, not just linebacker. Bro, I've won 3 times. I've been to the championship 5 times.
Flex.
I'm a
Flex
beast.
a little bit. Flex a little bit.
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't been there in a second because they tried to switch up the league. They tried to make it an auction league, which, by the way, I think is trash. I think every league should just be the simple format, a PPR or whatever IDP. Like, I don't believe it. Y'all, yeah, and that's another thing. I've never heard of a 2-quarterback league where one quarterback isn't a flex.
That's so fun. I'm gonna tell
Never heard of that.
You want to know why it's fun? Because it throws all conventional wisdom out the window.
It sure dang does, because
And
that's
I
a lot of
love
dang
that.
points.
Because listen, everything has changed. Everything about the game has changed. Everything about these kids coming out of school has changed. Some of these kids coming out of school they're ready for it. There's the development time for some of these kids. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, what people have typically done over the years just doesn't apply as much. I'm not saying that there's no logic there. Like, there are still some rules to it. Don't get me wrong. But like, I didn't see the first year I played, I won. because I didn't see numerically why I wouldn't pick the highest point getter first if his production combined was equal to the number 2 running back and the number 1 tight end.
Yeah.
So that was Patrick Mahomes that year. His production was projected to be so high, it made no sense numerically not to have him. So I was like, oh, I'm getting him. And everybody clowned me for it. And we won. And I won. But I'm saying, like, it's not, it could have been anybody. It's just making sense of the fact that his production, based off the rule set in these leagues that we're playing in, it makes it easy to make that call. Like, you just remove your bias of who you like. And you pick like Lamar Jackson fantasy-wise. I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan.
Oh, really?
I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan.
Oh, man.
I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan in general.
Lamar.
Like, I don't.
Fantasy, he's a beast.
His game isn't my type of game for QB.
I see that in real life, yeah.
In
but
real life,
fantasy, he's a beast,
I don't like his game in real life.
He's won me a championship.
But he's definitely on my list to draft high. Because fantasy-wise, it makes sense. Justin Fields, the way he was playing, was not my style.
Yeah.
But fantasy-wise, when he had the rock, he put up a lot of points. So it was like based off of what they're actually doing and all that, some of these players is just like a no-brainer to take no matter what the positions are. And people just be like, oh, you shouldn't do this, should do that. And then when you ask them how many leagues they've won, they give you single digits. It's like, unless you out here like super killing it over the 15 years you've been playing, shut up talking to me. Because I'm not trying to hear that, dog.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hear what you don't do, but you ain't won nothing. And yet, I'm not trying to say this, but it's like using the metrics of it, I can put together a better team than you can. Like, I don't care about that part.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. Talk about a dynasty league. Now, Tony, I don't know anything about a dynasty league.
Yeah, I mean, I'm be honest with you. I'm not really keen on dynasty leagues. Maybe that's something we can get into after we do a little research. Yeah.
It sounds cool. Like,
yeah.
You keep certain players. Like, somebody in the chat, break that down for us real quick, and then we can start wrapping this up.
We played keepers before.
Like, what does that look like, though?
Our version of keepers in the league that we have in the IDP is just you keep somebody out of the first five or six rounds that you've drafted the previous year. So, like, let's just say if you got a top linebacker in Roquan Smith, or you decide to keep you had Christian McCaffrey, you can pick a really solid player, so they won't go back into the drafting round when you draft the next year. So that's one for each person. Sometimes we've done it where it's one offense, one defense, or it's whoever. It's two people and whoever you want to pick. You know, it just depends on the format and the settings that, you know, the people that are over the league, the commissioners of the league choose to have.
So how does
I'm not exactly sure, though, about specifically what a dynasty league is.
Dynasty league is a long league. So is it like – so my understanding of what I think dynasty is like playing like on 2K, you play franchise mode basically, and you just do it for like the length of whatever like your career is at. Yep. Is it really like that though?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Raging, yeah. I think
you
stay with your players like a GM. Yeah, there's
I think that would be cool.
No, the keepers has been nice, and when you do it right, there's been times, and that's why we kind of foregoed it, because sometimes, man, some people are trying to cheat, like, you know, and
do you pick a team like?
What?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Not do you pick a team like individual players, but do you have to pick like a team like you could be the Bears or you could be the
No.
Is it like that?
No.
Listen, I'm totally green.
Whatever players you had previously. At least that's how I've experienced it. They might be talking about something completely different, which is why I think, you know, the more we get into it, maybe we'll do a little homework on that. Maybe we'll have a little bit more understanding of. But my experience with keepers is you just keep a number. We agree all to maybe one or two players from the previous year that you had on your team in the first, whether it was 4 or 5 rounds, and you keep them, and they don't go back to the drafting. So now you're just drafting from deficit.
So can you choose not to keep any players in a dynasty league?
I'm assuming.
Or in a keeper, is it the same as a keeper league? It sounds like the keeper league and the dynasty league are the same thing.
It says keep players forever. That part I have no idea about. We don't necessarily keep players forever. It's just year to year, and we choose to, you know, take them off the team the next year if we do or not. See, our league, we've been trying to keep it consistent for a long time, because certain people have won a lot. They tried to switch it up on us, so they did, because they were tired of the way we were normally doing it. That's why we put in like an auction draft one year where you can actually all get you have a certain amount of money, and so even if you're the first pick, everybody can bid on that player.
You could trade picks in a dynasty league.
You could trade picks for 3 years. Yeah, see, that's something that I would have to get into.
I like that idea.
Yeah. That was something I have to kind of understand a little bit more. I'm not really too deep in the dynasty yet. But the last two things I do want to say, I'll say this as far as like kind of giving some insight into how I go about just drafting in general, no matter what kind of league it is, which I think would be beneficial to you guys if you all have been doing fantasy football for quite some time, is one, do not put yourself on auto pick or auto draft at the end of the draft. Try your hardest to stay in it until the end, because you never know if there's a gem or somebody that will just fall through the cracks. I've seen it multiple times where somebody who's just overlooked, whether it be a rookie name that somebody doesn't really know because they haven't done the research, or they're just not really a football guy in your league, and they're just overlooking it, and you can pick up somebody, or maybe somebody who got injured the previous year who didn't necessarily put up the numbers that they usually do. Like, I don't know, well, I wouldn't say Cooper Kupp's not going to be picked up, but somebody who clearly has a leg up, but maybe they're being overlooked because they didn't necessarily have a great season the year before. Always try to stick it out to the end of the draft. Auto pick is auto mid. I agree, Raging Oracle. And then two, what was the other one? I'm drawing a blank. But basically, that's the most important thing that you want to do, is try to like put yourself in a position. Oh, and then after the draft, that's what's most important. Waiver wire, free agencies, free agents and waiver wires. Those are actually sometimes the things that win you the game or win you the season, is when you're staying on top of looking and seeing who cut who off their team, who's still on free agency when maybe a running back got hurt, so they're I don't know what the name is. I'm drawing a blank with the name of the running back that's like chained to them, like behind the running back 2 is now available and now can take over the duties of the running back 1 because he got hurt. So you always want to keep those things in mind. Always stay on point with your waiver wires. Sometimes if you got to wake up in the middle of the night, I've done it before, just to get an advantage on your enemies in fantasy football. Make sure you stay on top of the free agency list and the waiver wires, guys.
You know, the one thing that burned me last season, and this is the thing I'm gonna walk into this season really conscious of. I didn't care. Like, I cared, but I didn't care as much about my defense. I was like, I could play the waiver, whatever. I could, do all of that. But there have been consistent defenses over the last 3 years that you should just stick with. So I had Miami.
Miami's sleeping. Miami's low key okay.
I dropped them because of their bye week or whatever. I remember I dropped them.
Yeah.
And I was like, they'll be there. Realistically, I should have dropped somebody else and kept them.
Really?
Because the next couple games, they put up enough points able to win me all my matchups. And it was just that one thing, like I just didn't value, like I just figured like, you get another defense, whatever like that. You never dropped. And I know that's probably like a rookie mistake or something like that, but some people play where they literally just don't care about the defense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know why that's the thing, but I shouldn't have done that part. Miami definitely was the thing.
Yeah.
And, Oscar called it the handcuff. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to Oscar. That's exactly what it's called, because every time you see it, they actually put like the little handcuffs next to the running back. So let's just give an example. If DeAndre Swift goes down, the handcuff is Khalil Herbert or Roshan. Yeah. It looks like it might be Khalil Herbert. As crazy as we've been talking about him being off the team, he's been showing some things. So one of those two, those are the handcuffs. Those are the guys that you can put in, and they may actually have an impact if the first running back doesn't come back or is out for a long period of time. Those are those really good handcuffs that you want to look at. Yeah, thank you, Oscar, for reminding me of the name.
Hey man, it's been a show. We've enjoyed y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with us on another episode of When to See the Breeze. It's your boy PKIDD. You know who I am. You know what I do. It's your boy JC. You know who he is.
Yes, sir.
I'm just messing with you. Hey, listen, we appreciate y'all, man. Wednesday we might have something pre-recorded to drop for you all, and Thursday we have most of the team back in. So we'll catch you all then. Until next time.